Welcome to Music Theory Pre-Grade 1, Week 3. This is brought to you by To Enable. This week we'll be covering note values and rest, music signs and terms, lengthening of notes, musical signs, terms and signs. Let's begin our Week 3. Lengthening of notes. Notes can be extended for a longer duration by using ties. We can extend notes for a longer duration by using ties. You can only tie notes that are on the same pitch. So ties, they work on the notes that are on the same pitch. You can only tie notes that are on the same pitch. Rests cannot be tied. Remember this, we cannot tie rests together. A tie indicates the second note must not be played again. This means holding the first note for the duration of the tied notes. So a tie indicates that the second note must not be played again. The second note must not be played again. This means holding the first note. Hold the first note for the duration of the tied notes. Any number of notes may be tied. A tie symbol is like a curving line stretching from one note to the other. Let's take a look at our examples. We said ties, or you can only tie notes of the same pitch. You can only tie a D to a D. There's a tie symbol, stretching curving line from one note head going to the other. This means you're gonna play and hold this first note for the duration of this note. So you're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. This will give you 8. You're gonna hold the first note for the duration of 8 beats. That's how a tie functions. Dotted notes and rests. A note can be lengthened by adding a dot next to it. So we can also lengthen notes or extend notes by adding dots. A dot increases a note by half of its value. So a dot is different from a tie. A dot increases a note by half of its value. By half of its value. We call this dotted notes. Notes with dots are called dotted notes. We can only use dots for rest, or we can also use dots for rest. Remember we said we can't tie rest, but here we can extend rest by using dots. Dots on rest. Write the rest, or you can write the rest out in full. Dots are placed right next to the notes, and if a note is on the line, the dot will be placed in the space above the note. So dots are placed right next to the notes. Right next to the notes. A dotted whole rest. This is a dotted whole rest. Then a dotted note. Remember, this is a semi-brief and it's worth 4 counts. Adding half of its value would be adding 2. So 2 plus 4 gives us the value of 6. Same goes for a dotted half note. Dotted half note rest, the value 3. Dotted crochet rest, value a dotted eighth note. Dotted eighth note rest, and this is the value when you've added. You're gonna add what is a half of a half? It's a quarter. So quarter plus half. It's gonna give you 3, 4. Then this is a dotted 16th note, which is a semi-quiver. Dotted 16th note rest. It's gonna give you a 3, 8. Signs. Let's take a look at what a slur is. A slur marks a group of notes as a phrase that must be played legato. It marks a group of notes as a phrase that must be played legato, which means smoothly. It is placed on the side of the note heads. This is how a slur looks like. It's similar to a tie, but it functions differently. This is an example of a slur. It indicates a musical phrase that must be played legato, which means smoothly. And a tie, remember, it connects the duration of the same pitch notes. Don't confuse a slur to a tie. Staccato. It it is a dynamic, a dot sign on top of the note head. On top of the note head. This is a staccato. It's different from a dot. Remember, a dot extends a note by half of its value, but a staccato is a dynamic that indicates that the note should be played shorter. Shorter, play the note shorter, respecting, not altering its time value. Staccato. This is a slur and a tie. Moving along to terms and signs. Music is mostly communicated in different terms and signs in order the player to understand how or what is supposed to be played. And we use languages like German and Italian mostly to communicate these terms and signs. Different types of musical terms. We've got tempo, how fast or slow should we play, and we have dynamic, then we have articulation. Remember, dynamic has to do with how soft or how loud we are supposed to play, and articulations is smoothly or should we play staccato. Let's take a look at the tempo. We have allegro, meaning fast. Allegro means fast. Allegretto, fairly quick. Allegretto, fairly quick, but not as quick as allegro. This is allegro, fast. This is fairly quick, but not as quick as allegro. Then we have largo, largo, meaning very fast. Andante, andante, meaning moderately slow, at a medium walking pace. Then we have moderato, abbreviated as mod, moderately or moderate speed. Allegro moderato, meaning moderately quick tempo, followed by retardando, abbreviated as read or retard, meaning gradually getting slower.